Welcome to the Seven Crosses series for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, and we're picking up on the 3rd of March 2007. This video is going to consist of two parts. In the first part, I'm going to talk about some additional information that we received in Community Report 46 relating to the water and sewage update, which could be due within 2 or 3 weeks. And when I mean due, I mean in the public beta branch. And then in the second part, I will carry on playing and I'll give you a bit of an update of some of the changes that's happened during the winter. Now, before we start on talking about the new update, so a big thank you for all comments and feedback. The reason for that is that I'm going to respond a little bit to some comments that were actually placed on the Community Report 46 rather than on the Seven Crosses series. And some of your comments were very interesting, especially the observations around water consumption and the fact that, well, what I'm going to do is actually change pace a little bit here. I'm just going to talk about what was actually in the community report and then weave in the responses, the comments that way, otherwise it won't make sense. Now, one of the big features of Community Report 46 is that we finally started to get some detail over the fact that which industries are going to consume water, and when they consume water, they're going to need a direct pipe connection. Now, one of the things I am going to be quite interested in is to see whether if you've got a factory close to, say, a domestic water supply, whether it will also get a secondary contact from that water supply, or whether a factory will be needed to be directly connected to a pipeline system. Now, in the report, we didn't actually get specific information. What we got was a couple of pictures that showed some sample water consumption. What I will say, though, is that these figures I'm going to talk about are not precisely defined, so they may be subject to change. And what we'll do is we'll go over to what is probably one of the bigger water consumptions, which is the concrete plant. Now, if for a concrete plant, the water consumption is 85 cubic meters per day, which is a lot of water. But as was pointed out in the comments, if you're making concrete, you will need a lot of water, both in the refining process and also making the mix. Now, this means that a concrete plant will need a water connection. But as was pointed out in the comments, is that what is actually happening is that the new water update is moving towards having different water supply systems. So the original view that I had of the way this update was going to run was the fact you'd build a water grid, a bit like the way it works in city skylines, and that would be it. You'd build a grid to supply the water in, and then a grid to dispose of the water to obviously the local water around this area. But that's not necessarily true, because the residential areas will need fresh water, or good quality water is the term. Now, at the moment, we don't really have a good definition of what good quality water is, but I do know that there's a percentage. So one of the initial tests is going to find out what good water is and and also how sick the population would get if the water quality drops. This also relates to food production here, because a food factory will also need to be connected to water, and it requires good quality water. Hence, a food factory will be needed to be supplied from the domestic supply is probably the correct way of saying it. Also, a distillery, which actually we've got some information on that, which will need 13 cubic meters of water per day to produce the same amount of alcohol, I'm assuming would also need good quality water. But returning to the concrete plant will take anything. Now, one thing I do know is that water taken from here is not that good quality water. I don't know the percentages, but if you want good quality water, what you actually do need is wells at the top here. So in this situation here, what we're talking about is laying in a domestic supply to the town, connecting that to the food factory and the distillery. Now, one of the stings in the tail of that, which is actually said in the community report, is that to get these connections will mean that we actually have to rebuild these buildings. And as somebody pointed out in the comments, we don't have to rebuild anything. And of course, one of our first tests is going to be whether these existing buildings will continue to function even if they don't have a connection to water, or whether the general game rules means that these factories will not work at all because there is no water connection, and therefore they do have to be rebuilt. And of course, that then leads on to another question, which is mods, because mods won't have the water connection. So that then kind of leads into the possibility of what happens to these modded buildings if there's a water requirement to provide food, or will they continue functioning? That also then leads on to questions about modded residential buildings, because if water and sewage is not automatically added to these buildings and the population have a demand for water, then what would happen to, say, someone living in a building like this that doesn't receive water? Because that in turn, so that could actually cause a problem where the people living in here won't have access to water, therefore they will start leaving the city. And that's going to be quite a key test that's going to need to be done when the update drops into the beta branch. And I think that is going to be quite a key test that we're going to need to make using this series. Now what I want to do now is just briefly outline how I'm going to be using the Seven Crosses series to explore the new update when it arrives. The first step's going to be is what you could call a devastation test. What we're going to do is switch on water and then just run the game and do nothing and see what happens. Obviously I'm going to take a sideways copy so that we can go back and restart again, because what I just want to see is what that impact would be if the water is switched on and then we do absolutely nothing. Because I think also what that would do is identify where the hotspots are, where we would need to work on to add water. Then the second test will be to go back, switch water off, switch on road signs, and repeat the process of the effect on traffic to having road signs enabled, assuming that we can enable them, and put no road signs in at all. Because obviously the priorities will change on these roads, because I think the default will be give way to the right. So we'll see what effect it will have on traffic. Once that test is conducted, and again we found out where the hotspots are, well, I'm going to go back, reload again, and then just start again with just the traffic signs. But this time we're going to go around and try and put traffic signs round to regulate the traffic flow, and also fix any possible problem areas. And hopefully what that will do is give us a save game to take forward to the big test, which is implementing water. And that's when the fun will start. And as somebody quite rightly pointed out in the comments, I'm going to need a very big war chest to be able to do what I need to do and lay in the water supplies, because what we might need to do is use technical offices as emergency supply. And of course, one of the big issues is going to be water disposal. Now, I don't want to get into too much detail with this, but I'll just use Knife Edge as an example. What I've been doing is I've been going around looking for high points where we could put wells and possibly water towers, so that we can try and get as much gravitational distribution going as possible. And as somebody suggested, is that we might be able to get some gravitational flow running by actually adjusting the depth of the pipes, so that the water will run down to an area, and then possibly we may have to lift it again to move it on. So what we may have to do is build a sewage outfall. I've got a feeling that it's going to be planning the sewage outfalls that's going to be the biggest challenge, and probably the area where that is going to have the biggest difference is actually in Ollerton here, because there's no close water supply. So we may have to quite literally have to run a pipe all the way out to here. And of course that then leads into the issue of dumping the water, because the devs have said that the pollution, although it doesn't distinguish between air and water and ground pollution, the question is if you're dumping foul water into, say, an area like this, how wide will that pollution spread, especially with respect to if you put any wells in the area, more importantly, near how far that pollution will spread with respect to residential areas. And of course, if it gets into industrial areas, will that still cause the population to be unhealthy? So there's a lot to think about with this new update. And now, just to do the transition to the second part of the video, what I'm going to do is come up to here, because as somebody quite rightly pointed out in the comments, that it's going to be important to build nuclear power stations close to water, because nuclear power stations also need a water supply. But again, the quality is not that important. Now, a singular nuclear reactor will need 6.8 cubic meters of water, so they don't need a lot. At the same time, they will be producing radioactive wastewater, which I assume we're going to have to dump into this area here. So we're certainly not going to want to dump that anywhere near where residents are going to be living. So that is going to also be another challenge. So I think that's enough on the new update, because as I say, we don't have precise details, but Well, one of the reasons why I wanted to come up here is that I wanted to show you what I've actually done is suspended the construction of the nuclear reactor, because there's absolutely no point spending a lot of resources building this and the towers just to find out that I've got to knock it all down again. So I've got a feeling possibly even the towers may need water supply. So what I've done is I've kind of cancelled a lot of the buildings. I think this one is I think we need to enable that one, but we need to make sure these are... So I still want to go ahead with producing the fuel. I'm just gambling that some of it's going to be okay. Now that finished, what I want to do now is just give you a bit of an update of where we are. We came through the winter. In fact, probably the best place to start is down in Stilton, because what we got down here is that we were running very low on food, and I think we still got a bit of a food supply problem here. In fact, it's actually improving now, because there's a weakness in my food supply chain at the moment. You can see at the moment we've barely got any food again. I'm not sure if this train is actually going to deliver some food. Yep. And the problem with the food supply to Stilton is that in order to be able to conserve food in knife edge, I've got this long supply chain here where the food is coming down to here from our food town over there by truck, and you can, and then it's by train to Stilton, and therefore it didn't go quite so well. But on the positive side, we didn't lose that much in the way of population, simply because we had so many over 21s that the ones that died and left were replaced by the over 21s. So generally things are going quite well from that perspective. Now another thing I also did was, if we come down to Colville, where is it? I went through during the winter and checked all the heating distributions, and I found a couple of weak points over here, which I think I mentioned in the previous one. So we've been trying to get this built now, and what I would like to do is get this set up now so that we can possibly get some workers into here. Is it? We've got the heating plant here. So I've got some open hole trucks over here. Let me just see. That's a dumper. I don't know, open holes. I use them all up. Yeah, it looks like we have actually used up the open holes. Okay. So what I'm going to need to do is queue up some open holes. Let me just see. Open holes, we're getting about 3 of those. I'm trying to avoid by buying vehicles unless I have to. You can also see here that I'm actually producing dumpers at the moment. The reason for that is that if I come over to knife edge, we've got a little bit of a... Oops, gone too far. We're in Ollerton, not knife edge. Is that my major gravel production area here, you can see, is struggling a little bit. And what I've been trying to do is upgrade this area here. So what I'm actually gonna buy an excavator. I just don't want to get this way. So to buy an excavator here. We also need to add, where is it? I'm gonna add you to here because he's gonna go out and get the fuel, and we're got you on 100%. Then, sorry, we're going to jump across the map. We're going to pick up you. Actually, we're going to have to send you here. There's just so many things to do, and what I'm going to be trying to do, because the devs have hinted that the new update will be available in beta fairly soon. And of course, what they're going to do is I'll just let them go and do some fuel while I give you a bit more of an update. Yeah, because the devs have hinted the update, what I would like to do is try and catch up with a massive backlog of all the work that's available at the moment. And I suppose a bit of check by trains, because we're getting very close now to getting some key jobs finished in with respect to railways. We got that little bit there that needs to be built. There's no workers. I'm getting a bit of a problem with workers. It's all the little problems that can develop over time. And just come out. There's the rail track. I'm assuming that you need to get that built. Yeah, what I would really like to do is where is it? Stilton, is get this little bit finished here. Let's see, I mean, I'm not sure whether we've electrified this. Let me just check. I think this is electrified. We just check. I think because that's all we need to do here. Yep. And I've got the actual train to do it with. In fact, while we're here, I think I may have moved it already to here. No, I haven't. I'm sure there was a train in here. Sorry. Oh, okay, it's not quite finished yet. Actually, we're just going to speed the game up so that we can possibly get that train finished, because when that bit rails up there, we're going to use the train set from here to get the line established in that direction. Where's those? Oh, okay, now another problem or potential problem I've got is that if we come in here, you will see that I'm literally quite running out of crops already. So life is getting a little bit tricky, but what I'm hoping to do temporarily is we've got some trucks here, and I think what I'm looking for is Foodville main silo. What we're going to do is pull some crops from the Alk silo, because this is quite full, and if we don't use it all up, it's not that important. I might there's another one in here somewhere. Are you? Thank you, game. This has got the Elk silo on it as well. No, maybe it's not. It's probably got all 20 slots to use. No, it's not. It's got a spare slot, so we're going to pick you up. And the idea is that will keep the crops flowing into here, keep the food supply going. Well, that's the idea anyway. Right, let's just see if those dumpers have returned now. We got one now. We're just gonna open up you. Come back to here. Then we're going to pick up quarried stone, and you're going to deliver to here. Unload quarried stone. We'll get 2 trucks coming out to here. I'd like these guys to do is build mail. I must admit, I never have thought I'd need to bring that in as a contingency. But once we get more dumpers, what I want to do is replace some of these smaller trucks that don't go quite so fast, especially to say up to here, so that we can keep the gravel flowing in. So here you can see that oh, we are building back a little bit here slowly. What's up with you? Okay. Now the next thing that's been completed is my hydro dam here. Now we are getting a workforce in here, but it's not that reliable. I can't remember which way it was, which way this is at. Yeah, we're actually bringing in surplus workers from here. I think we're actually quite literally pulling them out of this area here, because when I was looking around, this had the highest level of unemployment. But what I am considering is possibly, if this doesn't work, because of course it's going to slow down in winter, so what I'm considering is we can come here, is put in the helipad there, and then we'll come back over to here and possibly just trying to get a helipad in this area somehow. We got no. Okay, guys. Plan B or C, is it? What we'll do is, what I've also done in here is I put in this heating plant as well, so that we can so this heating plant's coming together, so we can afford to expand here. Now what I am going to do is we're going to build standard vanilla buildings here. You can see 170 we got here. We just don't really want multiple roads here. If we kind of just get rid of those roads there, get a couple of these in, press that, cancel that, and I think we only really need the one. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Okay, we've got one road connection there, one road connection there. Maybe we'll put a second one in just for there. Accept that. Well, just get these built. And what that will do is put the extra workforce into here. And maybe we can put a footpath maybe across the back like that. Like that. Run a path through there like that, and just hook you up like that. And let's use the helicopters out here. Use up lots and lots more gravel. Can't do that one. Okay. Never been too sure why that actually happens, but start with this one. And what we could do is just build that through there. That will also expand the population. Now over here things are going pretty well. We're starting to pull together the rail construction yard here, and you can see one of the reasons why the gravel's dropping is that I've actually got dumpers coming out to here to deliver gravel to there, because the idea is going to be is that we can get gravel and other resources out here, get this finished. Actually, just see get the helicopter crews on that as well. Then what means what we'll be able to do is, because we got this line here, what I should be able to do is get a rail construction train out here, and that should start to speed up the construction process. Now in Ollerton, if you watched the previous video, you'll be aware that I actually got this, put this chemical factory up, and we've now got this actually running as well, which is reasonable. And you can see we're producing quite a lot of chemicals. In fact, I think we've already got well, we got 0.65 there. And what I'm doing is I'm shipping the chemicals to here. We've got 76 tons in here, and then using a train to get over to Stilton. Or so that what that means is that what we should be doing now is not importing chemicals anymore. So yeah, so we're still importing plastics and electronics, but we got a little bit of food, a little bit of meat coming in because that's for our tourist town. So we got that area going there. Let me just see what else. We're also working on fairly hard on getting this area built. Actually, I'm thinking I really need to press my helicopter crews. In fact, okay, we're just going to start to build this through, because I would really like to get some get the additional oil field online as well. In fact, just push it down to there, because let me just see if things have improved. You see, we are actually now consuming a lot more oil, and that is slowly dropping. It's not dropping fast, but it's not. But at the same time, it's dropping fairly slowly. So again, alongside food, we need to get that extra oil consumption into here. And of course, with respect to that, up here we are slowly putting a few things together. We've got the port finished, and we've got a few other bits and pieces that need to be built into here. Now, another change I've made is down here, because when the winter season kicked in, I monitored the fields here, and I can't get the efficiency for all the fields in this area. So what I've actually done is I put a small farm in here, which will allow me to take away, I think it's these bottom 3 fields, which will then be added to the small farm here. And because these fields won't come under the remit of this farm, this farm should then completely harvest these 2 fields, and then the small farm here can both harvest completely these 3 fields and add a little bit more to it. I want to just make sure that my road crew is doing their stuff. I think they're slowly pushing in here, and we should get this finished. And then of course, once all this is built up and finished, we should be able to get things done. One thing I've just realized something, sorry. We need that built there, because this is a one-way system for that silo. So if we don't have that road there, this silo, the build crews will get stuck in it. So that's that go there. I think that covers about everything that I can remember about what needs to be worked on. We'll just keep an eye on this, because I'm pretty sure. Double check these. Yep. What's going on here? Why are you? Okay. So why are you taking such a long time to build this? Probably because it's just short sections of track, isn't it? This guy's pushing out there, building the bridge, which is good. And then again, I would really like to get these sections built as well. I think we got. Let's see. Why is that? One thing I have been having a few problems with is little short sections of track that. There it is there. I'm not going to mess around telling the train to build it. I'll just. So once this is built, we'll be able to export probably steel to the border. Is I'm actually starting to consider. Well, I can't do it for this series, but one thing I am seriously starting to consider is actually a economy diary for when I play a campaign in this game, because trying to remember everything that you're trying to do when the economy gets big is absolutely mind blowing. And I just want to check here because the iron ore, I think we've got loads of iron ore here. We just don't have the train, so we need to get this fixed now as well. We can't use this, don't we? So we're going to got to get over to here to blow some of my money. So oops, I don't want that. I want this, don't I? So we're going to get another iron ore train in here. Quick motor. We'll stick to the ones that I quite like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oops. Get up over here. And you can pick up the, what's it? Iron ore. And come into here. Load the iron ore. Wait until unloaded. I'll just a little bit of a follow through with the train. Now, another reason why I want to get the rail construction office up and running in the centre of the map is that the construction trains running backwards and forwards along this line are actually slowing up the progress of my main trains, because construction trains are very slow, and therefore they're actually getting in the way, is the polite way of saying it. So that's another reason why I'd like to effectively shut down that construction office at Colville. I'm just going to through here, just follow the train. Yeah, you can zoom out a little bit. What I want to do is just make sure, yeah, because this train can only go through on the right hand track. So I was a bit worried about whether there'd be a coal train sat here. No problem. And what we'll do is get back here, and then I'm going to go put the game speed back to normal, because there's so much going on that trying to keep track of everything is a little bit of a problem. We are into here, and then if we open up here, you'll see that train is loading quite nicely. And then we're just going to go back to normal speed. We got both trains here now. Oops, not pause. I want normal speed. Are you? Oh, you're just on the way back. That's okay. That's good. While we're here, we'll just skate over very, very quickly. How far off are we with the train set? We've nearly finished the first train set. How many have actually got queued up here? I think we're get another one. I think we're only going to need 3 along this track here. And it's going to be really fun trying to signal this up as well, because of the actual trying to find where the points are where I can put signals in is going to be fun. Let me just see. I mean, the happiness is okay. I think loyalty is kind of 71%. I'm not sure if I get loyalty much higher, but generally things are okay. The only area that I've got kind of extensive problems is in our new town, and the main reason for that is that, like, wow, these guys are going very well. The main problem here is the absence of electronics. Although it says 25 citizens don't have access to sport. Wow, we've got a bit of a crime rate here. Wow. we need to get... Oh, this is finished. Okay. I'm just going to buy the police vehicles here. And then where's the old police station? Actually, I could have... well, what we'll do is we'll use the 2 police stations to try and deal with the crime rate here. Okay. Let me just see. We've got 2 police stations here, but these guys aren't going out. Does it take a little while for them to deal with the crime? I think these guys have got a little bit bogged down, haven't they? Oh, no, I think we've first ones. Yeah, we'll run the 2 police stations together, and then once crime gets back under control, what we'll do is we're yeah. So yeah, I think it's going to take a little while for those to settle down. I think. Let me just check the crime in other places to see whether we've actually got a wider problem with crime. Let me just see. Where's the police station here? Here we go. Where is it? This is the local intelligence office. Yeah, so the crime's good there. And the about Colville. We're getting a little bit of crime developing, but I mean, we are keeping this under control. Let's just have a look at the overlay then. Where is it? Thank you, game. You can see the coverage is good. Wow. And I think what happens is when the population gets to a certain level, you get a regular influx of crime. A little bit of problems with... Can't you get to the hospital? When the hospital's there, you should be able to get to it. Ah, okay, these guys... We've got a bit of a problem here with respect to... that they're not within walking distance of the hospital. But we could put a small clinic out here. But at the same time, let me just see what the health in here is. The health is still 96%. So it's not like it's a major problem. I don't think we need to react to it too strongly. Now, I did make a bit of a mess up here because I didn't set this properly, and what happened was the boards flowed back into here. But what I've done is I've put the construction office on this side for a pickup, so it's going to slowly empty over time. And what I've actually done is, I think I've got a few workers in here, so we're just going to drop your number of workers down to 10. And I think this applies the same here. We're just, because when this heating plant comes online, I think you finish the pipes now. You just see. I built one here. Yeah, so this heat exchanger is now working, and that probably opens up an opportunity down here for need to get this online. Let me just see. We got any open holes here? No, we're still working on the dumpers and the things here, so we need more workers into here because we're sort of splitting the workers between the two now. But once we've got this built, Don't understand why this guy's not building anything. Where are my train? Okay, let me just check. You're 77%. You're building out there. Does that mean that the edge out here now is finished? Let me just check this. No, we got one little bit of problem with track here again. Let's see what this is. I think it's just that little bit there. In theory, this is all electrified now, so we're now in a position to be able to start exporting steel. What I do want to do is get that spare construction train now working on here, but to do that we're going to need to split the track. Split the track there, because one of them's working on here. Right, let me just see. Just get to, yeah, meant to be working on that. Yeah, working on the bridge. And what we should be able to do now is get another one. We get you working out that way. We can start pushing the track out in this direction and get things done. I think he's just making a bit of a meal of it, isn't he? So we'll just get this built. And of course he's gonna, once he's built this, he's gonna stop because he can't get back to the other tracks. Over here. And what that will mean is that this will go back to 2 jobs. Okay. Gonna get him out of that area very quickly. And get him to build that. Let's get back over and check this now, because I've got a feeling that we're probably going to get lots of iron ore flowing into here now, and eventually we're probably going to run out of coal. But I'd like to keep building up my war chest at the moment. Just keep an eye on what's going on. Let me just see what other messages we get. It's mainly electricity problem. Yeah, I'm getting electricity problems here, but I actually watched a video by was it Babojo, and he was saying something about that. What happens is if you've got a power supply that's got wind turbines and main supply, the wind turbines actually interfere with the actual main supply. When the wind turbines come on, the main supply goes off, and that causes problems. We've also got this track being laid out here, this terminal here. Let me just go and check the other train station and see how these guys are going. How many jobs have you got? Go down to 1 again. And where are you? You're building out this way. Wow. I must admit, everything is being built incredibly quickly. And where am I looking for? We've got this track here, so if we get you working on this track, we should get that built out pretty quickly. And then of course we got the bit of a nightmare back here with respect to the, where is it? Ollerton. Get to Ollerton. I'm still trying to get this finished over here. So we've got the 2 tracks out to here. Got that to be built. I'll deal with that off camera, guys. I think it's easier with the video just to give them a big job to do. and then they can do that while I'm not having to keep microing them all the time. I think generally Ollerton is pretty solid. Let me just see. I mean, we do have a bit of an unemployment problem in here. Oops, I don't want that. Just check what the... We still got an unemployment problem here. But so, I mean, we're really pushing out the steel. This is a really economic chemical factory, which is really good. Now we must go back here and see if the trucks are here are making a difference. Not really doing. Look, get out of the way, helicopter. I still feel that that gravel's flowing out very, very quickly. Actually, I think, what, are we actually exporting gravel now? Or are we still exporting gravel? Yeah. I think considering the amount of money we're making and how much gravel's actually worth, I think maybe it's time to stop the export of gravel. So let me just come into, I think it's one of these. No, it's actually, I think it's this one, isn't it? Yeah. So going to remove you, and we're no longer going to export gravel. Well, not until we, I think we need the gravel to drive our construction, so I think we can afford to take the loss. Let me just check again. Exports. Where is it? Yeah, I mean we're only getting 374,000 for 737 tons of gravel, so I don't think that's really cost effective now. I'd rather have that gravel flowing into my, what we call it. Right, let's just get the dumpers out of here. Get them into here. Then what we'll do is send these dumpers up to our gravel extraction and replace some of the older vehicles. We'll just give them a chance to do that. Okay. Now, do I have any open holes kind of laying around doing nothing? It looks like I'm going to have to wait, and I would like to get this set up. Although, to be honest, it's not essential at the moment because we're only in May. In fact, because we're in May, let me just check the food supplies over here. See how the food factory is still going. I mean, we're still producing food, even if we're... we've still got 311 there. Right, let's just we'll check for our crops. So this guy's out. This guy's still got some crops in there. And he's got 672. We've got 566 here. We've got lots of meat flowing, so I think we've cracked the meat supply for the moment. In fact, yeah, in the moment it's still, there's more distribution than anything else. This one's actually got this one's completely empty. That's good. I know it sounds contradiction with me saying, well, this one's empty, that's good, but that means that the crops are being consumed because we're on the 21st of May. We've still got a little bit of a surplus here, which we're pulling out from here. We got 3,000 tons in there. We've got, I can hardly read this, still got 3,500 tons there. And how we got here? We've got 3,500 tons there, and up here we got 4,000 tons. So the key's got to be getting this connected so that I can ship the food around the map Of course, we got our new farm here, which will make it, I mean, if I can get all this area interconnected, it would be brilliant. We've got this area's coming together quite nicely. Just notice this power isn't connected by road, but then again, we've got to knock it down. We might as well not bother too much at the moment. We've got, it's like the power lines have been built into here, so that's good. Right, we've got lots of new citizens in here. There's no sports. We got that there. Cinema building. Got a small athletics club there. Hopefully we're getting lots and lots of workers piling into here and into here. Yep, look at that. That means we're probably going to get a little bit of unemployment here, but at the moment I'm quite happy with the unemployment. Yep, you see we've still got them here. University, yep, it's okay. Let's double check. Again, it'd be nice to get a pub up here to really improve productivity, but at the same time, shipping the alcohol out here could be debatable. We just need electronics, but I don't think at the moment we've got any really effective way of getting electronics up here, to be honest. So we're just going to have to live with this problem for the moment. Along with the upcoming water supply issues. We got, I mean, the road structure here is coming together quite nicely. Let me just see how much gravel we got here. 15 tons. We're not shipping it fast enough. Actually, let me just check the where is it? Can't remember where the distribution office is. I think it's this one. Right, you need some extra dumpers to get the gravel out. So where is, get the over to here. I don't want that. Down to here. So hopefully we got. Gonna get. Two dumpers into here. That should improve the amount of gravel being shipped out to that border there. These guys actually have a route. Let me just see. So we got 3 trucks working on here, but we get you there, there, and there. Now that's probably going to overload this route a little bit, but what I want to do is, where are you? Right, I think we're going to sell you, reduce that to 4 trucks, and then the bigger trucks will come out and pick that up. So is that we now starting to gain. Oh, we're gaining a little bit, which is okay. Actually, fuel. Okay, we'll just come back to the overlay. We got 800 tons in there. We got no fuel problems here. How much we got in here? Got just, I know you guys can't see it, but we've got just over 1,000 tons in there, and we've got 260 tons in there, so it's looking pretty good from that perspective. Just Skype back to. I don't understand why these guys take such a long... I suppose he's got to go all the way round a long way to actually get there, isn't he? And as I say, construction trains are quite slow. There you go. He's building out that way. Good. So the gravel was just about holding on in there. We probably don't need that anymore. Don't really want to waste money on dollar export train at the moment because we've only got 80 million. Let me just check the... What are we doing for coal now? Coal's holding up. We're still... What's up with this? Do we have a problem with... Right, the iron train? No, I think it's just... How much steel we got? What are we doing? Oh, it's dropped a little bit now because obviously we're not keeping up with the actual process, but well, we got 978 tons of iron ore there. That possibly indicates that we are punching out there. So I mean, combined the two together, we are probably producing about 40 tons of steel a day. Let's check the food supplies in. Oops. Yeah, see the food's built up now because we're in the summer and the trucks are rolling, and we've got problems there. So yeah, so we're not getting loads and loads of messages. I think it's the first time I've actually been in a situation where we're not getting piles and piles of messages as well. I want to see if we can get this guy working on some stuff in this area now. Yeah, wow, he's out of work. Okay. Oops, nope. Why are you not connected? We work on that. Why is that not? It's saying it's not connected. Okay, you give an assist on that. Okay, you give an assist on that. I think we'll put the helicopter guys on this. I don't think this... Well, we do have a job down here, but I don't think we've got a problem with the coal supply here. So I don't think I need to bring on that line there. And of course, I still keep forgetting about this heating plant. What I will do is, how many workers do we need in here? 5. So we need a couple of little dinky minibuses. I don't really want to use this bus. So buy a couple of minibuses. Nice little horse and cart here. Get a couple of those. And then we're... over to here. We need a pickup point that's not fair workers on. I think we got quite a lot of people there waiting. So and it's probably the closest point. So and we'll just pick this up here. And just gonna unload. And we'll scoot over to you. Right, since we got electricity problem with my hydro plant, which is the first time, I would say that we've probably got no workforce. What happened there? Let me just get... Let me just see what the workforce would be on here. Let me just come up to here. These should be in range of this. So let me just see. It's not in range. Oh, that's a bit... that's a little bit of a... oh, that one is, but this one isn't. Is there a footpath situation here that I can fix that with? Maybe hook you to there. Get these guys building the footpaths. Not going to build that one because it's not available, but hopefully you can build that one. So if we helicopter crews on there, what we'll do is we'll have a helicopter running backwards and forwards from there. We need some more. Oh, this is something I do need to work on as well. In fact, I'm actually going to cheat a little bit here, and we're going to buy these 21. What we got here? These are the KMZs. 2, 3, 4, 5. The reason I'm buying these is that this is the route that the trucks come down, bringing the food from up here down to the rail station that's over here. So having this area cleared of snow is going to make quite an important thing in the winter as well. And I wouldn't mind a technical office up here as well, but that can come with time. I think what I am going to do is fix the heating plant down here as well, and we'll have one more look for an open hole. No, we'll just buy one. And we've got open holes here, but I'm not exactly sure. What are you actually delivering using open holes? Stilton open storage boards. Is that it? Okay. So you probably don't need, because we don't have a I'm going to send you, actually I'm going to send one of you up to the, because this is the area that I'm using. We'll send you to there, and what that will do is come there. I also spotted a dumpers here. What are you guys doing? No, these are open holes. And the amount of steel's dropping. Yep. So at the moment I'm only exporting steel from here. Yeah, it's the coal that's the problem. But I think these guys can wait. Anyway, I've just realised I've gone way over time again as usual, so this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the video, hope you found it interesting, and until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.